Indo Rama Synthetics, a poor set of numbers at that. You did have the net profits which declined, as well as the net sales which were down by close to 7.9% on a year-on-year basis. We've got Mr. O.P. Lohia, who's the Chairman and Managing Director, joining in on the show. Mr. Lohia, it was a fairly disappointing quarter. If you could just walk us through the details in terms of your financials and how you hope to wrap the year up.
Actually, if we see the quarter gone by, the turnover is 793 crores. Compared to last quarter, it was 768 crores. So it is in line. And for the full year, actually, the turnover is 2968 crores compared to 2,817 crores. So there is a 5% jump on the turnover for the year. But the margin definitely has come down this year. And the net profit compared to 208 crores last year is only 38 crores this year. But at least in a difficult year, we have been able to maintain.
And Mr. Lohia, what were the average realizations? Are you looking at any price increases?
Actually, some price increase happening, but that price increase will not be converting into a margin. But this rupee depreciation will impact the price increase. But similarly, that is also impacting the raw material pricing because of the rupee. But otherwise, the raw material is more or less stable, and finished goods prices also is stable. One fundamental factor which is also important, that in the current year, in spite of the world market being challenging, we have been able to increase our export turnover from about 750 crores to 900 crores. And in the current year, we expect that export turnover will be cross 1,000 crores. So this will be a landmark, I can say, that in the current year, we plan to export more than 1,000 crores compared to 900 crores last year.
Mr. Lohia, you also have significant revenues from your overseas markets. So how are you looking to hedge yourself against the currency volatility?
Actually, the hedge is, natural hedge is like, as we are exporting. So in domestic market with the rupee depreciation, sometimes you are not able to pass on the price increase. But on the other hand, on the export market, we are gaining ground. So in that way, that is making a balance. That today, because of the rupee depreciation, actually it is difficult to pass on to the consumer. And rupee has already depreciated 20%. It means we have to increase the prices by 20% in the domestic market with the same raw material pricing. And that is the challenging part, that we have not been able to pass on this 20% increase to the customer. But other better side is, if we have been able to maintain our margin, it means we have been able to pass on the increase, but maybe we have not been able to improve the margin. But going forward, if the price stability comes in, then going forward, gradually we will be able to pass on and the margin will start improving.
And Mr. Lohia, if you could tell us what your current capacity and utilization levels are?
Current utilization level is around 70%. So this figure what we have achieved in the last year is on 70% utilization. And now going forward, utilization also is going to improve. Plus the cost measure and the value addition measure what we have taken in the current year, which will start helping us. And rupee depreciation on the other hand, it is putting pressure in the current short term. But in the medium to long term, this will be beneficial for this year, for the rupee and depreciation of 52, 53 or 54, definitely will be better for export as well as in the domestic market. So gradually we will be able to pass on to the consumer.
A few questions regarding the MOU that you signed with the Thai-based company Indo Rama Ventures that involves an outlay of 4,000 crore rupees. Could you just tell us what will it entail, what stage is it in, and when is it likely to be completed?
Actually, we are putting up backward integrating to make our raw material, which is PTA. That will make us self-sufficient for the PTA requirement. And we'll also add fiber requirement, which is going forward, the demand is going to increase. So it will be a state-of-art and size of 1.2 million tons of PTA, which will be the economic size and the current size. Our phase is, we are in the finalization for the land and other state government facilities. And similarly, I think we feel that in the current quarter, we will be able to firm up our location. And from there on, it takes around 3 years. So that's why I can say that around 2015, we should be started producing it, but it will take around 3 years from now.
And lastly, Mr. Lohia, how do you see the first quarter, that's the current quarter of the current financial year, playing out for your company?
This year looking like the last 25 days, if I say, then more or less I see definitely we'll have a higher turnover of around 10% compared to last quarter. But margin is not showing any sign of improvement. And then rupee is another factor which is we are not sure that how it will impact. Because definitely we are linked to the import of raw material. So currency makes a big difference. But for the full year I can definitely say that we are looking at least 20% growth in overall. And profitability going forward from the last year, definitely it's going to be much better.